Hey, Mim.
Hey, Scarlett.
Welcome back, guys. You're listening to Style Over Substance.
We're just two friends talking about our experiences working inside the fashion industry and also our observations from outside the fashion industry. It's sometimes serious, but it's definitely always a good laugh.
Always. We release new episodes every Tuesday.
So subscribe on your favorite podcast listening platforms.
Sup.
As you just pressed record, I thought to myself, you better sound preppy.
Yeah. I have not been so peppy.
I know.
Yeah, I'm tired, but I'll pep up.
Oh, God.
I'll pep up because we have some new listeners and it's really exciting. So welcome if you're new. As Mim would want us to say, us, the royal us.
The royal we.
Don't go back to the beginning. Just stick with us from this point onwards is sort of my advice.
Yeah, don't listen to our journey.
Maybe like the first 10. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Or if you do, just take it with a pinch of salt that we've grown. We've learned some lessons along the way.
Yeah, just subscribe now and just listen to this episode and next episode.
You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. I mean, we've got plugs in there. You'll hear the things. You'll hear the jingles. You'll hear it. What's your fashion story?
Yeah. So my fashion story is that Salvatore Ferragamo.
Oh, you did that very well.
Thanks. I mean, it's not every day that I get these pronunciations correctly. They have named a new creative director called Maximilian Davis. Yeah.
I feel like you really like the name Maximilian.
Do I?
I don't know why. I just could imagine that. But anyway, Maximilian Davis.
It's a little bit OTT, isn't it? Is that why?
Don't know. Interesting. I've not heard of him.
No, that's the thing. He's a British designer. He's a young British designer. And that's probably why you haven't heard about him. He does have his own label. And from what I've read is that he had entered in the LVMH. You know, they have that prize, LVMH prize. Or whatever,
yeah.
For a lot of like up and coming young or small brands. And he was part of it and actually pulled out of the competition before, you know, the winners were announced and whatnot. And now that he's been appointed this position, it makes sense that he pulled out because
he doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it, exactly. And also Ferragamo is not under LVMH, so it's like a competing company, not going to like accept a prize and money from one and then go straight to. Yeah, I mean, good call. You would if the negotiations to be creative director for Ferragamo is close. You would kind of, you know, sign on the dotted line and be like, sorry, LVMH, I don't need the sword, quite frankly. So, yeah.
How cool.
Very cool. And when you think of Ferragamo as quite, for an older clientele, not a really old, but like maybe middle-aged upwards, someone who is looking for something that's quite sophisticated, quite classy, like really nice materials. It's not like the same person who's buying into the trendy sorts of luxury brands. It's for, I think it's got they've got their own clientele base down, kind of what I get. So to have someone young and British as well, it'd be interesting to see like what's going to come from Ferragamo in the future.
Yeah, I feel like I would almost prefer that though, to be appointed, maybe, especially if you've got your own brand and then you become, we mentioned this before when you are creative director. I think it's helpful that it's quite different from your own line, and you're meeting a brief, you're not trying to there's no cross wires or anything like that. You're just doing your brief there, and he can probably inject some young new ideas into their existing sort of beloved styles.
Yeah, definitely. So he's from London, Seven Sisters, and Ferragamo, the brand, is from Florence, or based in Florence, and so it's like couldn't be any different from each other. And last week we were talking about the blend of Off-White and Church's shoes. Church's shoes is like that kind of quote unquote upper class, like gentleman's dress shoe, or like loafers or brogues and things like that. And then it meets with like streetwear, young, anything goes kind of brand of Off-White that like appeals to I don't know, whatever is just gonna grab the attention of the moment, And those two are like opposed to each other. So I think that this Ferragamo new appointment is, as you said, it's like a meeting of the two. Could be quite cool.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Interesting. Watch this space.
What is your fashion story?
So my fashion story, I saw it on TikTok. I haven't really seen it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Birkenstock.
Oh, love them.
Are doing a collab with Manolo Blahnik.
Stop it. Are they going to do, like their...
They've got the buckles.
Stop it.
On the... I actually feel like I want some.
I want them. I haven't even seen them and I want them.
Like they're velvet with the extra buck. I mean...
Oh my God, they're beautiful, aren't they?
That's exactly like this. These are the collabs we want to see.
The collabs we want to see.
This is it. Those are so, but you know what? It's so clever. I have so many emotions. It's so clever because Birkenstock is so popular. It used to be, I guess Crocs have had a similar journey. Birkenstock used to be very utilitarian. You wore them if you liked to walk a lot on holiday and you were like middle-aged was kind of the vibe, or you were a bit bohemian or not style conscious is what the Birkenstock used to be for. They're now cool. They're now trendy. We have very much made comfortable utilitarian footwear fashion. We accept it. Think of like the sandals that are really cool now. Are those like really chunky Velcro, like not so elegant,
like the orthopedic Velcro grandma's shoes.
So this makes so much sense. Like Birkenstock is just such a staple. You see it all the time. I've got a pair of Birkenstocks, and they're really comfy. And what a way to then pimp them out. I don't own Manolo Blahniks.
I'd love to.
And I would love to. I mean, I don't know what the price point is, but I think they come out on like the 24th.
No, I think they're beautiful.
And so
they came out in the purple.
There's blue and there's a pink for sure. There's some ones that look a bit more like Crocs that I feel like you would like.
No. I have enough.
You're not like, they're like filled in toes.
Oh no, those are some of their most popular styles. Yeah. Those people buy that style a lot to wear at home. This was before Crocs was like big. You'd wear like fluffy socks or like, those kind of thick wool
it looks a bit like a clog,
clothes.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really excited. I'm gonna actually really stalk the shit out of it and make sure if I want a pair, I get a pair. I mean, I bet they're out of my price range. So
I mean, Manolo Blahniks, those are, if I were to say what's my goal shoe, it's the Manolo Blahnik Mules, with the crystal at the front. They're beautiful. I love them so much. They're expensive.
They're expensive.
But what I love about Manolo Blahnik is he has, like, as a shoe designer, if you've ever seen this collection, go and see it in a museum or something. I did once. And
he often, I don't know if it's still there. It was there for a long time. I can't think the gallery now.
It was one near central London.
It was. Oh.
And I went and I can't remember either. But he is so whimsical.
Yeah.
And he's designed shoes of all kinds, like of all different themes, of all different colors and textures, and like a real shoe designer, like a lover of shoes, and like in every variation that he could come in. And I just think he's a classic. Even if you don't wear them, it's like it's a real collector's piece. Yeah. I'm going to hazard a guess that those Birkenstocks are going to be about £700-800.
No, that's how much Manolos are.
But that's the point, is it not? This is not an H&M.
No, I feel like you want it to be.
Yeah, you want it to be.
You want it to be like, say Birkenstocks are like sort of 80 odd quid. You want them to be around like 300, 400.
Yeah, I want
in
them
between.
To be, but they won't be, I don't think. You know what, on the spirit of TikTok, because between us both we spend a lot of time on that app.
Yeah,
I follow this creator and his account's called like I Deserve Couture. I think
I Deserve Couture. I love that. Yeah. Okay,
no, go on.
£500 is what one of the pairs is going for. Okay. £510.
It's a bit steep though, isn't it?
It's a bit steep. I don't care that much for a buckle.
Maybe we should just make our own. Like legit, give it a couple weeks and Zara is going to have them.
That's so true. That's very Zara.
Zara only needs 2 weeks to turn around. And they'll do it.
Yeah, they will. Sorry, continue your story.
So this account, I Deserve Couture, go and check it out if you don't follow already. But he had a video and he was like, what is going on with Bottega Veneta's prices? Crazy. So from their latest show, there is this leather midi length skirt, purple, like a lilac color, really nice. And out from under the hem is like long kind of like iridescent purple, like long sequins, you know, that kind of move with the movement of the skirt, like from underneath, like
yeah.
And they're selling it for like 30 grand. Yeah, like 27 something. Yeah, absolute cheap.
I could buy a farm for that.
No, honestly, you could.
Because I was like, you know, so my thought process was like, oh, leather's not that expensive. And I was like, hang on, I could buy quite a few cows with that. Bloody hell.
Set up your own tannery.
Oh my God.
You know. Listen, all these prices and things, it's just driven
the
by
world, the amount this world is getting, like the cost it's getting. My energy bill or my gas bill went up £45 in the last month.
Yeah.
I live in a 2-bed flat.
Yep. Ours has gone up. I can't remember how much by because it's depressing enough. Yeah. Like the internet has gone up. The gas, the water, everything's gone up.
Our TV's gone up. Yeah.
I don't have money left over for a £30,000 skirt.
No. That's got to go on petrol these days. So
speaking of petrol, that's damn cheap as well.
Every time I drive past, it's more. And you see people doing the almost panic buying it at the lowest price they can physically get it at because they're worried, obviously, it's going to go up the next day. I don't have time for that.
I know. I went to Costco today, especially to fill up because it's slightly cheaper.
Yeah.
It was cheaper, but it wasn't cheaper enough.
No.
You know, I was expecting like...
Yeah.
I was expecting...
You wanted a cash back with it.
a lot of money, savings, and it just wasn't... It wasn't hitting like it should.
No. But you know how you can save money? This is a really smooth segue. Outlet shopping.
Look at that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Look how smooth that was. And that wasn't rehearsed, guys.
That wasn't rehearsed. Was it cringy? Yes, because it came from me, but
I thought it was very smooth.
We interrupt this broadcast to say, go follow us on Instagram. Our handle is @StyleOverSubstancePod. There you'll find our weekly fashion topics, all the stuff that we discuss in each episode, and our polls.
Or reach out to us at StyleOverSubstancePodcast@gmail.com for new suggestions of topic discussions, or even to share your own fashion stories. We also have a YouTube channel, Style Over Substance Podcast, if you'd rather listen to our episodes over there.
Back to the episode. So yeah, we're talking outlet shopping today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to start with this little nugget that I read today.
Mm-hmm.
That a store, okay, guess which high street store is about to bring out an outlet?
Okay. Hold on.
I don't think it's
clues.
in this country. I think it's in the States, but not that that's a clue.
Oh, so it's not in the UK. We don't get it here.
No, you do get it here.
But the outlet's going to be in the States.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I might say, like, it's not a department store. It's a brand, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
High Street. Next? No. Do you remember the Blue Cross sale and all that?
Yeah.
Good times. Okay, so it's not that. It's not like River Island, is it?
No.
Because I'm thinking High Street, like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not going to be like Zara. It's not going to be like Mango. It's not. Okay, so we've got Very, but they're a department store online. God, I don't even remember the High Street, if I'm honest.
Okay, H&M.
How
can you outlet H&M?
What's cheaper than
I know
prices? What?
And also, I think I read as well that New Look is doing one, and I would put that in a similar category.
Okay, so that is an excellent starting point, because the question of what is the definition of an outlet store?
Mm-hmm.
What do we expect to see at an outlet store? And when you think of H&M coming out with an outlet, the first thing we think of is the price.
Yeah.
What are they discounting? Because there you can honestly, because
the amount of things you can get in that store for less than £10 or less than 20,
that is just a summer sale. And to be
exactly,
honest,
and they have sales anyway. Like, we now live in a time where a sale can last a bloody month, if not longer, or you get a 20% off voucher sent to you via email every other week.
Yeah.
So in what world does H&M need an outlet?
Okay, the world is that H&M are overstocked. And remember when we started this podcast, right at the beginning, don't go back and listen to those episodes, guys. Right at the beginning, we spoke about this. They were overstocked because we were all at home, not going anywhere. And H&M always had this a problem of overproduction.
Yeah.
They would make lots, or their buying team would order a lot of garments to be made, and most of it could never be sold. And they were sitting on all this excess stock and they couldn't flog it. And so by them saying, okay, we already put on all these sales, we already put on all these discounts, let's just repackage these discounts into something that is more exciting. And what's more exciting? An outlet store. Why? Because people purposefully go to outlet villages to find things they haven't seen anywhere before, get heavily discounted products, mostly for luxury goods, like premium goods. And so an outlet store is actually kind of exciting.
Yeah.
And so that's what H&M are doing. They're just repackaging all their like
to flog the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't know, would you go to their outlet store?
No, don't get me wrong, they've got some good stuff there. I try not to shop there because I try to not shop places that are like outrageously cheap. Granted, I'm sure that there are many, I mean, ASOS has cheap stuff too or whatever, and I'm not made of money, but anywhere that kind of has a lot of sort of cheap items, I try not to buy from there because I want my clothes to last and be more quality. And so what I might have bought from H&M now, I would probably look to like Marks and Spencer's for.
Yes.
Like for me, from H&M, I used to get like vest tops, mainly to wear underclothing, not to wear externally anyway, like as an undergarment almost. What else would I have bought from there? I probably bought cheap jumpers from there when I was younger. But yeah, for the most part, I like if I was looking for some new vest tops, I would probably go to H&M. Maybe holiday clothes because that's more of a throwaway item. But again, I'm trying to not look at clothes like that anymore. So yeah, I don't really know what I would go there for. So I wouldn't get buzzed on 3 vest tops for £2.
Yeah. But
how about you?
Oh no, I haven't shopped in H&M for years actually. And I'm not saying that I'm like better than you, but because I buy from other places. But I have no reason to shop at H&M. As you said, there's like Marks and Spencer's for basics, there's like Gap, there's like Uniqlo.
Yeah.
It's not as cheap, but you could buy like, instead of buying 3 of the same item for £30, you might just buy 1 for 25 or 1 for £20 and be like, let me see how it goes, you know. So no, I would not visit them. It kind of reminds me about TK Maxx, because TK Maxx is positioned as an outlet, and it is because they get a lot of off-season bits. Are you a TK Maxx shopper?
I never have been, because I think you have to have a lot of patience for TK Maxx. And I never have. Like, I don't actually enjoy the act of shopping. So going through racks of clothes is sort of my idea of.
But you do that virtually, though. You go on the internet and do that.
I do it on the internet, but that's from the safety of my home.
I get
I don't know. I've never really enjoyed shopping like in a store. But the amount of people that I see find amazing things, especially lots of great coats, and I go on their online store and they're not there, because obviously that's the nature of TK Maxx anyway. And it makes me think that I should start sort of going and hunting through their store a bit more. But I want to pose this to you. So originally an outlet store, or the concept was very similar to what TK Maxx is, right? Selling off old season, maybe things that have a button missing, slight default, seconds, as they often get called in fashion, or just unwanted good, maybe some samples that just never made it. That's sort of what an outlet store was for, is a way that people like Dior, Prada, Fendi, like think of Bicester Village, which is, I think, by the way, the most like successful outlet mall in the world. So TK Maxx still is like that and has retained that, whereas I don't think these outlet villages, for the most part, have retained that. I think we'll probably go on to the fact that things are actually purposely made for outlet stores, whereas I don't think that is the case for TK Maxx. But you tell me, because you're more of a TK Maxx shopper than I am.
Yeah, I haven't bought clothes from TK Maxx in a long time, but years ago I did shop in TK Maxx more. So I would say, having worked for brands, particularly in their outlet division, is that I don't think there's any love lost for outlet villages at all. A lot of the outlet villages, like you mentioned, Bicester Village in UK, which is probably the most successful one in Europe, But then you've also got other big ones like Lavallee, outside of the center of Paris. And then you've got all these ones in Germany, like, so basically the UK, France and Germany, these outlet villages, they pull in a lot of money and they shift a lot of stock, and a lot of people do love going to them. But the thing is, they are predominantly for luxury goods. So the price point, although it's discounted, the price point is a lot higher. You know, you might still spend a good £500 on an item, a good £1,000 on an item, and it might be great value for the brand that you're buying into, but it's still a lot of money. The thing is with TK Maxx, and what has been successful for them, is it's like on the high street, isn't it? You don't have to drive to the outskirts of like your nearest city, or a couple cities, like a couple hours away from you, to visit these specific villages. And so that's why it might seem more popular, because you see a lot more people on the high street visit them and they're more accessible. But I maybe, and I don't know for certain, but I could see outlet villages having become more popular whilst we haven't been traveling internationally. We no longer have as frequent access to duty-free shopping, where you could get something that was in season, in the store, in the airport, and then get your 20% VAT refunded after your holiday. So I think if you've got your eye on something, then you could go to the outlet village and go looking for it there. That's how I found my Balenciaga bag, because I had my eye on getting it and I found it, brand new, but at the outlet. So I think that there's still a place for outlet villages, even though, TK Maxx exists. I think when you go to an outlet village and you go to the brand store, the offering is more curated.
Oh, for sure.
You get like the service that, not the service of like the retail stores, but someone helps you, they go in the back, they get your size, all of that stuff. Whereas TK Maxx, you got to fend for yourself, and you're like looking for one shoe to match with the other one, and it's underneath the railing, and like,
it's not a premium experience. But I still feel like, I think there's probably less stuff made just to go in TK Maxx, whereas outlet stores now very much have things purposely made, like how we've talked previously in old episodes that Zara very much makes clothes just for their sales. That these outlet stores do. But so Bicester Village is actually the most successful outlet in the world. I didn't realise that. The annual spend per square foot in a typical UK shopping centre is around £300. In Bicester Village, it's £2,000 per square foot. But it is premium, and it's probably, it's that I'm in the UK, I think it's the only premium one, and there's some really great stuff.
No, we've got the company that owns Bicester Village has one in Portsmouth.
The Portsmouth one definitely isn't as nice. I'm trying to think what that's called.
It's not as nice, but they have Gunwharf. Gunwharf Quay, but they still have luxury stores though. Bicester's just more, the thing is, Bicester's just far more successful and popular because it's closest to London. It's in Oxfordshire, so
so I haven't been to Bicester Village for a little while. However, I actually it used to be part of a Christmas tradition that I would do. So my mum actually used to go with her mum to Gunwharf Quay, and they would go and do some Christmas shopping there. They would maybe get like some slightly cheaper Calvin Klein boxes for my brothers. Like, I think there's a Nike outlet store there. They would get a few bits and bobs like that, but they just would enjoy the day there. And so then when my granny passed away, I attempted to sort of start a new tradition with my mum of maybe going to Bicester Village. However, Bicester Village is an expensive price point, so I don't think we actually picked up much. But it's a really nice day out, and that's coming from someone who doesn't enjoy shopping. It's a really nice place to go. It is just a really chic sort of village, lots of nice stores, and also I think people now I know sort of go there knowing that they've got like an amount of money that they're happy to spend, and sort of just hope that they'll be like, oh my God, I saw that 6 months ago. And we're all programmed. We're all consumers. We all love a discount. So this is where outlet stores just have us like on the back foot anyway, because we love to go, it was 50% off. It might still be $1,000, but we're like, it's a great deal. It used to be £2,000. You know, we love that story.
Because we can't get it anywhere else for that price. There's still that like, it's just more attainable for us, isn't it?
Yeah, and so that stuff tricks you into maybe spending more than you would. But also, you, like you said before, you still get quite a luxury experience. You still feel like you are shopping in Fendi.
Yeah.
Even though it's the outlet store, you still get treated nicely. They still call you madam, la 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 la. So yeah, I think it's a really accessible way for people to shop there. And I actually wouldn't mind betting it's even more popular than ever as well, because trend is so not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
We don't judge someone for having last season's bag. Yeah, we don't judge that. So actually,
anything, you know what? If anything, now it's a bit of a flex.
Yeah.
To be like, guess what I found
Vintage.
From like Rick Owens, like 2004.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's so true. It actually is more of a flex.
The journey of finding something in the heap of everything else that no one else could find. Yeah. You're right in that sense.
Yeah. What was your experience when you were at Bicester getting your Balenciaga?
Well, I didn't go with the intention of getting it. I just saw it across the room, and
you never do.
Yeah, that's the problem. I like going to Bicester, actually. I go fairly often with my mum. She loves going. And as you said, it's a day out for us. Most of the time, I don't buy anything. I buy like T-shirts from Vans, but I'll spend like £30 because I like them. And it's like, you know, I come back with something. But, you know, like you got the Wolseley Cafe, you go for some fish and chips, or like it's an easy Sunday stroll, and you get to try on some, you know, fancy stuff, and you get to daydream a little bit. And so I definitely think that outlet is here to stay, as you said. One, because people love a discount, love to hunt for things, and also because, as you said, trends don't exist. But I was thinking about this earlier. You know, like the noughties and the 2010s, we don't have like, I feel like our fashion was an amalgamation of fashions from previous decades. There was nothing in particular.
I think that's what it all is. Yeah. Anyway,
besides the skinny jean and the jegging, you know,
but the skinny jean existed before then, but it just wasn't as skinny because there wasn't elastane.
Yeah. Inside the denim. Yeah. So, as you said, like the rise of vintage shopping, charity shopping, and then you've got outlets, and then you've got websites like The Outnet. Yeah. You've got shops like TK Maxx. All of this is like, there's this perpetual desire for people to buy things that's discounted, out of season, and whatnot. But back to your point about items being specially made for outlet, because we kind of glossed over that point, and I'm pretty sure most people don't realize that happens.
So I found some before and after, or not before and after, but sort of comparisons that I'll send to you so that we can get those posted online, but just really subtle differences between the online or mainline
retail
version and then the outlet version. So one example that I saw were a pair of Ugg boots. Visually, like initial inspection, look the same,
Mm-hmm.
And then probably, and I would say this is the case, I would bet this is the case for most things made of leather, that it would be made of seconds or even thirds. So when you go to a tannery, you approve, this is the case of all handbag companies that I've experienced, luxury handbag, leather goods. Literally, you physically go there and you approve the leathers that will be made. And whether that's a snippet, so then the factory know what is worthy of approving. Like Chanel classify things as like 1, 2, and 3. And things can only be made of a 1, like it has to be premium. So I wouldn't mind betting that it's discarded leather that they've already bought but has a mark or an imperfection on the skin that gets used for these products. But anyway, so visually the outside looked the same, but the tread or the sole was very different. So an UGG boot normally has that foamy sole.
I think now they're rubber. I think they've changed it.
Oh, well, yeah, true, because they're probably more designed for outside. But this one just had it had a different groove. And it was just visually, you could just see that it wasn't quite the same. And then the other example was a Michael Kors bag. And so the normal tote has like the Michael Kors logo, sort of the shopper tote type vibe, very Neverfull. And then it has that sort of the swinging pendant that sort of, is almost like a key ring or like removable swinging pendant. Whereas just the Bicester Village or the outlet version just had a really simple nameplate on it and none of the additional things.
Yeah.
It was just simplified.
Definitely. Well, I worked in the outlet division of a leather bags company. And it was like an international brand and they focused on leather bags. Sorry, I can't talk anymore. And I know for certain what they do at outlet.
Yeah.
So it's not discarded leather. They will make, okay, so you take your retail line and you might have like popular bags or like your iconic bag ranges, for example. And by the way, what I'm about to say is not for every brand, but for specific brands. But we'll go on to that. So say you have 5 very popular styles, which are your mainstays, and you will make a dupe or design a dupe that's very similar to it, but it's not exact. And instead of having like the A grade leather, which is like the best quality, as you said, perfection free, it's like the softest, plumpest leather, they will use, instead of like the A grade, it's like the C grade. So it's like harder leather,
cheaper leather.
It's cheaper, more cost effective. And then maybe instead of, the chunky hardware that you get on the retail pieces, you will get the kind of smaller, cheaper hardware on the outlet pieces. Everything is modified so that it's cheaper to make.
Would you say even the construction, like would they modify it to that sort of just that it's maybe not lined as nicely or?
I don't know about the construction. I've never noticed like, oh, this is a badly made bag.
No, I more mean
or the
so
inside.
there's a way to make things cheaper, like there are cheaper constructions than others.
I can't speak to that because I don't actually know, but I know for certain like the materials were different.
Yeah.
And as you said, like the logo or the plaque might be different. You might get the full name, the full branding on the retail one, and then you might get the abbreviated, or it'd be slightly different.
Or just rather than it being metal, it's just stamped, or
for example, exactly.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, and the reason why I say it's not for every brand, but it's for certain brands, is that you've got brands like you've mentioned Michael Kors, Hugo Boss, Ralph Lauren, all of these brands that have massive presences in outlet villages, and everyone's got a Hilfiger t-shirt. All of that stuff is made for outlet particularly, and it's sold to the masses. And the idea is that they make, and no word of a lie, there are lots of brands out there who make more money on their outlet side of the business. It's a much bigger portion of their business than their retail is. You know how we talk about couture? Couture is their retail business. It's like the nicest stuff, the most premium stuff. It's what you see in the new collections, and that's what draws you into the brand. And then you have the outlet. So you might be like, I can't afford a £2,000 bag, or even like less expensive,
like a £300 t-shirt. Yeah.
But I can go to the outlet and this looks similar.
Yeah.
And to the undiscerning eye, you think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So their outlet business is much bigger because it's so much more accessible, and they know that they are shifting higher quantities. So the margin, they try to make their profit margin as large as possible, don't you? So they make it cheaper, basically, and so they can sell it to you for cheaper, and then more people can buy it. And loads of brands do that. And I don't know how for the life of me it's legal, because
because it's true, because there isn't a side-by-side comparison, right? So even just taking like a Hilfiger t-shirt, if you're paying sort of £100+ for a t-shirt, that'll be a really nice heavy duty cotton, can't see your nipples through it, like but like even for men, whatever, like it's gonna be heavyweight, it's gonna be really nice, it's gonna wash really well, it's gonna last, outlets probably slightly thinner cotton, slightly cheaper, maybe it's got like a smaller logo, so they've used less embroidery for the
maybe
logo.
It's not embroidered, maybe it's the hot stamp,
maybe it's all of that stuff. And maybe like the real t-shirt has either like, you know, when they do that little like sort of grosgrain or ribbon that either goes around sort of the sleeve or on the hem of the t-shirt, it's probably not got that on the outlet. So like you said, unless you're literally going into like, I want this Prada bag, I know exactly what it looks like, and you're trying to trick them out, you're not going to notice these things. And it does feel a bit like trickery, but
I think you're right, the way they get around it is it's not an exact match to the thing that's in retail. So like the consumer watchdog couldn't be like, you're selling the same thing and saying it's a lot cheaper and blah 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 blah,
but they also probably don't notice,
or they don't care.
Because
legally, before you know when Currys do their sale and they're like, we've slashed the price by £500 on this brand new like all widescreen TV, that item had to be at its full price for, I believe, like 28 days at least or something before they can discount it and say it and call it a sale. They get around that sort of law in outlet when it's made for outlet, but then they say it was at a higher price, which it never was.
And I think it's really, like, my dad always tells me, even when it comes to like a bottle of wine in shop, everything is made to know what price it's going to be at sale. Everything is targeted at that. So you aren't actually, oh my god, that was meant to be £40, but I got it for 20. They always wanted, their margin works at 20. If you bought it at 40, they were laughing. It's not actually a sale, because the consumer thinks, I've got a little bit of like a one up on this brand because I've not bought it for £40, I got it for £20, and so they haven't made as much money, I'm happier, blah blah blah. But it's not that. They intended, or they were happy for you to buy that at £20 when they made that product.
And especially when you consider like you know around sale time, and it's like 50% off, and then like a week later it's like buy 3 for the price of 2, and then we give you an extra 10%, and then we throw in a key ring, and then you get a bag scarf with it, and then there's all this like really complex pricing going on. It's like those sorts of discounts is stuff that they work on all year round. Those
they're
combination
intentional
prices. If you put this bag with that, it only costs us that much, but they calculate how much extra revenue it will bring them in, because they know, okay, last year when we had a similar offer, this was the this is how successful it was, basically. This is how much money we made. We can expect to sell this many units if we throw in this really cheap coin purse. You're going to more likely want to buy the bag because you get a matching coin purse.
Yeah. So if you do you feel like your Balenciaga bag was purposely made for outlet?
No, I don't. Now, I might be people are going to be like, you're so ignorant. I genuinely don't think it was. And the reason why
I would say I don't think it is because of the nature of that design.
Yeah, it's really specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it didn't exist for a long time. Basically, for those who don't know, it's the city bag medium size with the multicolored graffiti. And
so had it just been a black style of it, potentially it's been made for outlet. But because of just the fact that that's quite an unusual print, I doubt they're bothering to recreate that. No. And the beauty of those things is that they're limited runs.
And they stopped making that style a few years ago. That's the thing. Like, when I think about the store in the Gucci store in Bicester, I 100% think that they've got a number of bags in there that are made for outlet. And the reason why I say that is because they are like an older Gucci style of bag. They've got that embossed Gucci logo, whereas Gucci now does a lot of like jacquard and a lot of quilting. And it doesn't have the same like motifs that they used to do like before Alessandro came along. And they've got a lot of styles in different sizes, different colors that I don't think I've seen on their retail website. And I think that they make them
that's interesting, because actually in my head as well, then that made me think of Burberry, who's had a very like transformative logo change in the last decade. So I feel like it would be really obvious what's like really old stock that they're really trying to get rid of. Or
no, I think they do it.
Yeah, of course. I do. But even also, you could just be recreating that style with just then the new logo on it and be like, I never saw that. So it's got the new aesthetic or whatever, but that's not the style that aesthetic goes with. So I think it'd be really obvious. And also I feel like Burberry would be a huge culprit. I think Burberry outlet must be one of the most enticing because you like, first of all, that check is just like a gold mine anyway, but for sure they're just lining or putting a little trim, like a much cheaper version of that, line a trench coat, all of that stuff. Because why would you ever outlet a trench coat when it is a fail safe that people will time and time, it is a timeless thing, people will come back to you for those for the rest of time. You would never intentionally outlet that.
Also, when you go to places like Bicester, traditionally under normal circumstances, when we've got like usual levels of tourism in London, it's a tourist hotspot, and particularly the Chinese tourist is like, when you're in these offices of these brands and they talk about outlet stores, there's two consumers. There's Chinese and there's Middle Eastern, particularly Chinese customers. They're not
into the outlet,
love a bargain, and I respect it. And so a lot of things are made with that customer base in mind. So you think about Chinese New Year, there's always stuff, always red stuff for Chinese New Year. And Burberry it's like a British souvenir, isn't it?
For sure.
And from what I understand, like the Chinese market love Burberry. Check, trenches and stuff like that. And so Burberry could just pump out.
I feel like they kept Burberry afloat when we all thought it was like Chavy. I think the Chinese market kept it afloat.
Yeah, for sure. Just like imagine like Burberry umbrellas, and then like, as you said, basic scarves with like a nice Burberry tag on it. A cheaper version of the trench, as you said.
Just a shirt that's got that little like check just behind
Round
the
the
collar.
inside of the collar.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's all made for outlet stores. And I think also, I might be wrong about this next brand, but I wouldn't be surprised. Max Mara. Max Mara has Max Mara Weekend. You know, they have that, we talked about diffusion lines last week. They have that diffusion line, and their coats, some of their coats, why would you put them in outlet?
I get what you mean. They're beautiful, timeless wool coats. There's people buying them. Why would you? Yeah. But then I think this is a thing, is as consumers, we forget it's a business. It is a huge business, and people know, and this is masterminded from sort of the get-go. The merchandising team, whoever it is with knowledge, or the buying team know which styles are eventually going to go there, you know, or maybe it's when sale reports come through and they're like, we thought this was going to be classic. It's clearly not. But yeah, I agree. I just think that outlets are doing something right. And you're right, actually, is that there are real rules on discounting in normal stores, but it does seem to somehow be able to get around that, because you're right, there will be a very subtle change, and they'll be like, oh, these Ugg boots are normally X, but here you can get them for this, but it's not the same product. It's not the same product. Even if it's just one slight change like that, it's not the same product.
And you know what, some people, it doesn't matter.
No.
And
you're still getting something from Ugg, Burberry,
I think
Balenciaga.
You just need to be aware. Like I feel like I have a better understanding, and you probably do because you worked with fabrics as well. So you have a better inclination, or like kind of hunch as to what is better quality and what is not, and what's made for outlet and what is not. So you can shop and be like, I don't think that's usual Gucci or usual blah blah, or I'd rather spend more money to get the exact style that I've been lusting after. But because if you don't know that, and you don't have knowledge that lots of things are made especially cheaper for outlet, then I feel sorry for those people, because you're really being duped.
But then I also think, you know what, is there anything wrong with it being made slightly cheaper, other than the fact that sort of you really haven't got a discount, but you still haven't had to spend, say a Gucci bag is normally £3,000 and you got it for like 1,500 in the...
But that's what I mean. Like, if you shop with the knowledge that it's made for, then you're like, cool, it doesn't matter to me. I'm happy to buy it for this price because I still love it and I'm still getting a bit of the brand.
But it's not, but it's still like, it's still proportionate, I guess, sort of, is that
you still want to buy something thinking it's the same quality.
Yeah, I guess so. But then, I like, as long as it doesn't fall apart, hopefully it's still great quality. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting one. I'd be really interested to know if anyone listening didn't know this and it really changes their opinion on something, if they care that it's intentionally made for it. I definitely think that, actually saying it out loud, if Chanel had an outlet, which they don't, if I bought like my dream Chanel handbag and it wasn't like the Chanel quality, I think I would be quite bummed, or thinking, someone's literally sat there and gone, we'll give them the cheap hardware, we'll give them this, the one that tarnishes in a week.
But it's cheaper.
Yeah.
How do you feel? It's cheaper though. You managed to afford your Chanel. How would you feel?
But I guess then also the reason I lust after Chanel is because it's meant to be luxury quality. So I guess it's why you want something as well. Is it because the style looks really cool, or is it because for me, with also the knowledge that a Chanel bag holds its value, this one won't.
Yeah.
God, that's oh man, I'm stressed.
You know what? I a few years ago, I was interviewing for a new position at a different brand. And I obviously told them, like, I work in the outlet division and this is what I do on a day-to-day basis, whatever. And I was speaking to the VP. It was like the last round of interviews. And he asked me, oh, we've been thinking about going into outlet. What do you think? And I was like, don't do it. I said it because this is another thing with outlet, kind of linked to our diffusion episode. Outlet stores, and then having or introducing an outlet store and making things especially for outlet stores at cheaper quality can dilute your brand.
Yeah.
And people will no longer buy into the mainline stuff because they can go Bicester Village and get the cheaper bits. And your retail stores are going to suffer.
Yeah.
If you don't have outlet stores, then people are forced to stretch themselves to get what they really want, like what Hermes and Chanel do.
Yeah.
They don't give you any discounts for the most part, unless it's like ready to wear, but whatever. And so it's so easy for the outlet side of a business to outgrow and outperform the retail. I think it's a dangerous game for a brand's reputation.
Yeah, I agree. I think when it even comes to diffusion lines, all of that, take a look around. Who's doing them? Who isn't? Are the elite people not doing it? There's probably a reason, What
would the reason be?
Like, again, like you said, that Chanel and Hermes are not doing that because they want to be positioned top in the market.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It doesn't, it lessens the brand and all of that stuff. I think I would question those sorts of things and where are you trying to sit in sort of the pecking order?
Yeah.
But I have a question for you to sort of circle back to something we talked about earlier of with people shopping at charity shops more, pre-loved, all of that stuff. Do you think that shopping outlet is somewhat better? And for the people who are being more fashion conscious, eco-aware, sustainable, blah, 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 blah. I've said blah, blah, blah so many times today. Sorry, everyone. It's my catchphrase today. Do you think the outlet is almost in that way being more eco-aware or a more sustainable way to shop fashion? Because technically it's meant to be styles that haven't sold. So do you think people view it as sort of, I'm not buying something brand new? Or is it just, but then the fact that obviously things get made for it probably doesn't do as much good as someone might think?
Yeah, I think in the cases where companies make a lot of goods, a lot of items, especially for outlet, no, it's not an eco-friendly version of shopping.
Do you think a consumer would think it is if they didn't know they did that? Because that could be quite harmful if someone thinks they're being more conscious.
I think so. Yeah, if you didn't know that, you would think, oh, everything here is just stuff that they didn't sell. So I get the chance to buy it before it gets burnt or gets thrown in a landfill or something. Yeah, 100%. Having said that, though, I think the only way where being eco-friendly would apply is if you're buying the samples.
Yeah, true.
Because these outlet stores still contribute to the overall demand of a company. They're going to say, oh, okay, well, we sold 500 of these units last year. Let's just keep making more of them because we can still make money.
If in doubt, they can go to the outlet.
Exactly. So it doesn't help to curb the production of a brand and what they're trying to sell us. Sometimes it can just think that the success of their outlet stores can just encourage them to create more, because that's what they're there to do, to make money. I think, and it could just be me, but I think outlet stores are more often viewed as just a way to find something that you haven't been able to locate in the retail store. It's old or it was very popular and one got returned and you might find it in the outlet store and you could get lucky like you do with pre-loved market, oh, maybe I can find it there. I really want this item. Let me go and hunt for it. Or it's just a way to get a good bargain.
Yeah.
I don't know if people walk into these outlet villages and genuinely feel like, oh, this is eco-friendly. But there's also like a stack of the most basic t-shirts with Hugo Boss printed on them. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think it is eco, but I would just hate for someone to think sort of, oh my gosh, well it would have been going to waste. But yeah, I guess, and like you said, it adds to the demand anyway, because like you said, a shop could say, well, you know, the outlet sold loads of these, so let's make a few extra. But yeah, it's sad though when you think of sort of the everything is for money and everything is planned out. I really hate that I'm such a victim of like consumerism, or like they dupe us, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like we are born into the system and all we can do is learn how it really is. We can't be born with the knowledge of how it really is. Everywhere we turn is like, buy me, buy me, buy me.
Yeah.
So you can't feel bad in that sense. But I still love an outlet shop, and I'm going on Friday.
Are you to Bicester?
Yeah, I am.
Boy, you have to update us if you get anything.
Oh, no.
Another Balenciaga.
No. But I do have my eye on something, but I'm trying to like, hopefully I don't see it.
Oh, would you break your no spend for that?
Yeah, in the right color I would, I think. Oh, yeah, I think in the right color I would. That's another thing about outlet. In those brands that genuinely just sell old season stuff, there's always the funny colors.
Yeah.
The color combos that you
wouldn't quite go
full price, you know. Yeah. It's luck of the draw. Yeah.
I definitely, now that I'm a bit older as well, I definitely think I would want to go to one, but I know I'd be duped into like, oh my God, I want these shoes. Look how much cheaper they are or something. So I'd have to really go there with my wits about me, I think. Just because I'm a fashion lover and the amount of things that I've admired over the years, you know, oh my God, I wish I could have that. And then if you see it, that's when your mind is like, oh, but you can.
Yeah, and that's another thing with outlets that we haven't touched on, and that is the sense of urgency that you get when you're there.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, let me think on it and come back next week.
Yeah.
There isn't another in the back room. If you see it, you get it. There could even be competition in the store with you at that time who wants it too.
Yeah, for sure. And again, because it's not on your high street, you're like, I don't know the next time I'm going to make this hour and a half long journey to come back and see if you got it. And they don't reserve stuff for you.
No.
Or they might, if you're lucky, you can pay over the phone and they send it to you. But there is that sense of urgency. It's kind of like what Zara does.
Yeah.
You know how like if you like something Zara, you got to get it.
Yeah.
Because everyone's battling over the same stuff.
Yeah.
That is how outlets operate. And things like the queues. You know how Chanel does. And they're like, you got to queue up to go and see our shit.
They do that now in Bicester, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
You have to check in or join the queue. I think that started because of COVID.
Yeah.
But it's also, like you said, they do that anyway in these luxury stores. So it's just sort of trickled its way down to the outlet.
Yeah. They don't want us putting us poor mitts on their rich stuff.
They want your details.
Yeah. Can we just put your details in our little black book and all this stuff? Yeah. Anyway, what is our poll for this week?
I don't know. One part of me thinks, have we taught you anything new about the outlet experience?
Yeah.
But also, I'd be really interested to know how many people sort of Or do you wait for something to be in the outlet? Who do you put a lot of emphasis on outlet shopping?
Yeah.
You know, like the risky game, even with the high street, is like, I really like that, but that's a little bit more than I want to spend. I'll see if that goes on sale. It's like a more tense version of it.
Yeah. Higher stakes. For sure. Yeah.
Amazing.
That'll be all fun. Well, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Style Over Substance, guys.
Don't forget to check out our Instagram or Spotify to respond to this week's poll.
Bye.
Bye.